Okay, I heard the beep before the recording, so. All right, so welcome to the Kuadrant community call. It's only 2 items on the agenda, both from me. They're relatively small things. If you've got anything else, please feel free to add it to the agenda. We'll get to it. So we did release of 0.7 and 0.7.1. We're looking to do a release next week. We're proposing to do a release next week with 0.8. There's definitely quite a few bug fixes that have gone in on the DNS operator side. I'm sure there's bug fixes gone in various other components as well. So although I'm not calling this a patch release, debate if you want to. But yeah, we'll do a release next week and get some of those improvements out and keep the ball rolling on the release train. So to that end, I will be probably trying to annoy ADD and talk about the Kuadrant operator release. So if there's no objections, I'd like to actually run through it with the Kuadrant operator to see what that looks like, see what the process is. So yeah, we'll probably give an update on this call next week, but that's the plan. If there's things you'd like to get in, try and get them closed out, and we'll probably, yeah, we'll give a shout on Slack or when we're putting the RC. Any questions on it? PD? You're muted, or I can't hear you at least.
Hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, sorry. Mic problems. So I was wondering if you're planning to release an operator hub as well?
No.
Okay, good. Because that would probably be challenging.
Yeah, no, I'm not planning on doing that at all.
All right. Well, let me know if anything. I'm the last one that released, so I have it at fresh.
Yeah.
So right.
It'll be interesting to see the time difference and the effort level between this release and the last one, given Operator Hub is no longer in the mix.
Yeah, I think in that case it would be almost like a couple of minutes. But,
Yeah.
you know, whatever the time building the image takes, and pretty much that's it.
Guy?
Thanks. I believe you have seen somewhere that the next release could possibly be a patch release, but now I see 0.8, so maybe I'm confused here.
And it could be we could do it as a patch, Guy, but I was just thinking of avoiding like having to move things from main onto, like, there's a release branch there for 0.7, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
no, the main reason why I ask is because we do have a couple of pending things unreleased in Arduino, pumping dependencies. I think there's also a bug fix, maybe something like that, that could possibly justify cutting the release of the component as well.
Okay. Yeah,
so I think if it's going to be 0.8, then I think we're better off, also cutting the release of Arduino.
Sounds good.
Okay, make sure to do that then.
That's that one. All right. And then the other thing, so we, as people know, there was the engineering environment that's continuously installing the latest Kuadrant and running a really simple happy test against it. With that, we kind of spoke with the QE team as well and wanted to figure out if there was some way we could collaborate and end up deploying things in the same way. So the resources in that repo are quite useful, but what we decided was we wanted to have an upstream Helm-based installation anyway. So we've created Kuadrant installation repo, and the idea there will be that we can create different Helm charts for different types of installation, but they'll each rely on the same set of resources. So if we're installing something into an engineering cluster, it will use those resources as well as into a QE cluster and remove any differences. But also it will be a public repo. So when people want to do a Helm-based install of Quadrant into a Kubernetes cluster, for instance, they'll be able to use that repo to do that. So yeah, there's nothing there right now, but I just thought I would share. There's a first PR, I think, from Philip Cap. Yeah, go ahead, DG.
Yeah, yeah, I learned that from Agus. I shared the link on my pull request. So I have a pull request, I have a POC of using Helm charts from the limiter operator. The idea is I have a to-do list there. The idea is to prepare limiter operator to use Helm charts, to install it with Helm charts. And creating the manifest is a mix between customized and Helm. And my next step, which is today, it is prepare like a workflow to build the chart and post it on Artifacts Hub, which is kind of a repository for Helm charts.
Okay.
So it could be useful to sync and with all the things that you're doing with the installation with QE.
Yeah, yeah. So what I spoke about with Philip and Peter was that we would create the repo and open a PR and then share it here so that anybody interested in that area could go have a look and see what was done there. Just like that was a proof of concept as well from QE. So if you've got some insights, DD, I'd say go have a look at the PR and add some comments and things like that.
Yes, I'm going to share in the agenda as well the link to my PR, so we can. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, and it is pretty cool because so we're using Argo CD to deploy things, and that can also leverage this kind of stuff. So it works well too. Not hugely familiar with Helm myself. I'm aware of it, but not something I'm particularly familiar with. So definitely an opportunity to learn as well. Any other questions on that one?
Like, is there something that Helm is bringing to the table that's we can't do with Customize?
It's the ability to inject values into things like the deployment so that you can deploy a particular version, for instance. So it's that templating piece, which is quite difficult to do with Customize.
Like Customize, you can customize the image versions and stuff like after the fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I'm just trying to understand, like, what is it that Helm brings to the table over Customize? Because I see Customize as being a simpler version of it.
Yeah, go ahead, DD.
I'm taking this. So yes, they're like similar. They're overlapping in most cases, and of course, yeah. Well, the way that Customize would differ is like it uses overlays instead of like replacements when you're using Helm templates. It's minor, difference. But I think like one of the things that we are trying Helm, that we're giving it a try, it would be because if it's adoption, like there's like huge community that they are more familiar with installing Helm charts than applying or just browsing in the Artifacts Hub about charts in general, operators, and just in order to give it more like exposure to Quadrant, it's good. I would say like any other technical benefit, I agree with you. Customize is like more than enough. But yeah, just trying a different way to release Quadrant as also an alternative to OLM. Agus?
Yeah, go ahead, Chrissy.
Sorry. I wanted to complement what Didi just said. Customize is a very nice tool, but lacks the the concept of release asset. So you can provide a version, metadata to the release, so you have some release, you got a release. Customize is more low-level tool for creating manifest, and it's and also another drawback from Customize is that this templating lacks from some parameterization. So we end up working with other tools like GQ and YQ to set image versions and so on to this manifest using Customize.
I'll show you an example of a repo that does this pretty well. It basically has release customizes that get checked in. They have like all kinds of overlays for stuff, and you can customize
check out
our
if you check out our any operator repo, all of them are like aligned. You will see how to do that, and feel free to open a PR or improve it. I mean, I'm very happy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Hiram, I would be very interested to see like this example that you mentioned about the kind of like managing customized manifest releases. Because probably we can learn a lot of things from that, because as Agus mentioned, we are used to do a mix of customized overlays and then replacing with tools like JQ or set.
Yeah,
it's the use of MVARs and stuff like that, right? As well, like we can't.
Yeah. And yes, of course, like Helm give us this kind of like nice way to do go templating and to the manifest itself. So in the pull request that I cite there on the limiter operator, I'm not replacing customize because we are using it heavily, and all the manifests are basically created by customize.
Yeah.
And I'm mixing both tools.
Yeah. Okay. I'll dig in and try to help you guys with this stuff a little bit. I mean, the nice thing about customize is once you point at like a given overlay, like it doesn't matter what your environment is, like the resulting manifests that you get are are consistent and deterministic and don't depend on how you ran customize or the environment you're running customize in. It's all kind of like deterministic from there. So that's like one of the nice things about it. So like if you don't like the way it's generating stuff, you just create a new overlay and now you'll have a consistent thing that generates. So I mean, it's a mindset difference between Helm and Customize, but I just kind of think that Customize is like simpler, like there's less to it in a way.
I'd say we've made quite extensive use of Customize as well in quite a few places. Like the Eng environment itself is using Customize to build the resources and deploy them and make different changes based on like there's an overlay for EU West versus US East, for instance, things like that. So yes.
And like there's another thing, like there's ways you can build our stuff that are more customized friendly, right? Like if you have to go, like if you want to change configuration variable and you have to do a huge patch, like that's ugly and customized, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can build stuff where it's easier, like you can avoid having to do like write JSON patches to change things, then it's like easier to use from customized. So that's kind of like one of the benefits of, hey, let's try to use customized
to be clear, there is no intention at all to get rid of Customize, mainly because we want to keep the OLM bundles still being generated automatically. So the source of truth keeps the same. We use Customize for building the manifest from the source of truth that can be code colon code, or can be another manifest. So customize is still there, only for custom catalogs for OLM. We want to keep those source of tools the same thing. So we use customize to build manifest that will be delivered using a custom catalog in OLM or Helm charts. That's the work Didi is doing, and he's exploring how we can do this the best way.
Just there's a couple of things as well that are quite well. At least I have not found like good solutions for in Kustomize. I really like Kustomize, but things like when I was setting up the environment, I had to create a Keycloak instance with a Keycloak client, and then I had to get a value from that client and inject it into another resource because that resource needed that value. That was like not possible with Kustomize. Whereas, as I understand it, Helm can pull values from the cluster and use those values in the template.
Gotcha. I mean, I've done stuff like that too, where it's spun up Keycloak with Kustomize, and what I end up doing is I inject values into Keycloak so that I know the value up front.
Right. This was a client secret though, like so it was generated.
Yeah, I generated the client secret from outside, and I populate the Keycloak database using that client secret. I pass it in as an environment variable into like the setup script.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, this is evolving space.
Which, by the way, the problem is Keycloak. The Keycloak needs to be more cube friendly. It honestly does. I don't understand why it's not yet.
I agree with you. Yeah. So it's an evolving area, but I think we're making some good progress here. And like Gusky said, there's no intention to sort of drop Kustomize at all. And if we find that the use cases for Helm are pretty narrow, maybe we'll reevaluate. But for now, keep your eyes on that repo, and Harm, if you can show us how they do the release with Kuadrant, with Kustomize, that would be cool. If you could drop that into Slack or something, that would be quite interesting to see.
Yep.
Okay, that's everything on the agenda. Is there anything else? All right, guess we can wrap it up a little bit early. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.